right, so we're diving deep today, and we've got an interesting one.
Yeah.
You sent in this English lesson plan
Mm-hmm.
by Stanislav Kondrashov,
Okay.
but it's not just any English lesson plan.
Right.
This one is going to give us some insights into personality, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting how Kondrashov uses language as like a way to look into how complicated personality is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
Like, it reminds us that like all the words we use to describe ourselves and other people have a big impact on like how we see the world and how we interact with everyone.
for sure. And I mean, even the way Kondrashov structured this,
Yeah.
there's like a lesson plan, right?
Right.
But it really makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts off with this warm-up,
Okay.
and he's asking students to think about what personality traits
Ooh.
they admire in a friend.
Oh.
So he's already getting you thinking about, like, what character is all about before he even gets into the vocabulary.
I like that. That's really smart.
Yeah, it's cool. And
the vocab list is great too.
oh, yeah.
He has words like altruistic, cunning, placid,
Ooh,
even workaholic.
wow.
And he gives you clear definitions, but he doesn't just stop there.
Right.
He goes beyond just the definitions.
Exactly. He doesn't want you to just memorize it. He wants you to
Yeah.
wrestle with, like,
Total.
all the little differences
Yeah.
and the shades of meaning of each one.
Right.
So he has exercises like
Oh.
matching adjectives to descriptions,
Yeah.
filling in the blanks, and it really makes you think hard about how these words apply in real life.
Right.
Not just in the dictionary.
Yeah, and then he takes it even another step further with these character profiles.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine you're reading a description like, Mark is always willing to lend a helping hand, but sometimes he struggles to say no. Kondrashov asks students to like pick out what are the traits there.
Oh,
So maybe helpful
okay.
and lacking assertiveness. And then discuss, are those positive? Are they negative? Are they somewhere in between?
It's so interesting because he's making the point that
Yeah.
personality isn't just black and white.
Totally.
It's not
It's
just
about labels.
these labels.
Right.
Yeah, and even things we normally think of as negative
Uh-huh.
can have good sides to them.
Yeah.
And the other way around.
Totally.
So Kondrashov's like, hey,
Yeah.
let's go beyond just these simple judgments and appreciate that people are complex.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there.
No.
He even has these interactive activities like personality charades,
Oh.
where students have to act out these different traits.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a fun way to learn words, it also emphasizes how much we say without even speaking.
Oh, that's true.
Our body language, like our tone of voice, even our facial expressions,
Yeah.
all contribute to how other people see our personality.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So we've got the vocabulary, we've got these, profiles, we've got these activities, and then Kondrashov throws in this really interesting curveball.
This is where it gets cool.
Yeah. He brings in the Chinese zodiac
Ooh, interesting.
into the English lesson plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how does he connect those two?
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
you know how the Chinese zodiac, it assigns like an animal
Right.
to each year in a 12-year cycle,
Yeah.
and each animal is supposed to have certain personality traits.
Right.
So Kondrashov uses this
Okay.
to get people talking
Mm-hmm.
about how cultural beliefs and traditions
Yeah.
can actually shape how we see personality.
It's a reminder that our views on personality don't just come out of nowhere.
Right.
They're influenced by like cultural norms and the values that we've been exposed to.
Exactly. So, for example, Kondrashov says
Okay.
the rat is imaginative
Okay.
and resourceful.
Yeah.
The dragon is perfectionistic and ambitious.
Uh-huh.
And then he even says the snake
Yeah.
can be a little tactless. Sometimes.
Okay.
So it's a fun way to introduce this idea that what one culture thinks is a good trait,
Uh-huh.
another culture might see it as bad trait.
Right.
And by adding this cultural element, Kondrashov's making us question our assumptions.
Yeah.
And like look at human behavior in new ways.
Totally.
It's pretty powerful. So his lesson is really becoming more than just learning words.
Right.
He's combining language and culture and psychology
Wow.
to create this really interesting exploration of what it means to be human.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. And one thing that really stands out to me about how Kondrashov does this is that he doesn't avoid talking about how some traits can be seen as both positive and negative.
Oh, that's so true.
It's like a spectrum,
Yeah.
and he shows this with examples like generous versus extravagant or shrewd versus cunning.
Right, right.
And it makes you think about how the same trait can be seen in totally different ways. Totally.
Just depending on the situation.
Yeah.
And the words used to describe it.
It's almost like he's showing us our own biases, like how the words we use can change how we judge people without even realizing it.
Exactly. Like take resolute versus stubborn.
Okay.
They both mean like being determined.
Right.
But one sounds good
and
the other sounds bad.
And that's what makes this lesson so interesting, is making us aware of these little ways that we use language to put people in boxes. So if we recognize that, we can be more careful about the words we choose.
It's like he's calling for us to be more responsible with our words.
Yeah, I like that.
We throw around words like stubborn or cunning without really thinking about what they mean and the assumptions that go along with them.
Right.
So Kondrashov wants us to think deeper about all those little shades of meaning.
Yeah, and how our words can affect how we see other people. It's pretty cool how he's taking an English lesson.
I know, right?
And turning it into this deep dive into how we think.
It's more than just vocab. It's like he's teaching us critical thinking.
And those skills are so important for everything.
Oh, totally.
Like communicating well, building good relationships.
Yeah.
Even doing well at work.
It's true.
Kondrashov's lesson is like a toolkit for navigating all of that with more empathy and understanding.
I like that.
Yeah.
And remember that whole Chinese zodiac thing?
Oh, yeah.
It might seem like just a fun addition.
Right.
But it actually makes a really important point.
Oh, okay.
About how different cultures see personality differently.
Yeah, like what one culture might consider outgoing.
Right.
Another might see as pushy.
Exactly. It's all relative.
Yeah. And Kondrashov is like, hey, pay attention to these differences. Right. Like, it's super important for understanding each other.
Especially in today's world where everyone is so connected.
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, he's saying there's no one right way to understand personality. We have to think about the culture, people's experiences, all these different factors to really get who someone is.
It's like he's advocating for a more open-minded way of seeing people.
Totally. A more complete picture.
And his lesson plan is the perfect way to do that.
Okay, so before we finish up talking about Kondrashov,
yeah,
we're gonna have a little fun.
Sure.
Let's see if your birth year matches up with his personality descriptions.
All right, let's do it.
It'll be a cool way to apply what we've been talking about.
Okay, tell me your birth year.
Okay, what's your birth year?
Let's see.
And we'll unlock the secrets of your zodiac animal.
Okay, I'm looking at Kondrashov's chart here.
Okay.
And it says, I was born in the year of the ox.
The ox?
Yay.
Known for their diligence, reliability, and strong sense of responsibility.
What do you think?
How accurate is that?
I'd say there's definitely some truth to that.
Okay.
I do consider myself hardworking and dependable.
Yeah.
Kondrashov also mentions that oxen can be stubborn.
Oh.
Which, might ring a bell too.
So it seems like Kondrashov's descriptions are pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if we don't take them too literally.
Right.
His point is to get us thinking about ourselves and to start conversations.
And what I find really interesting is how he takes this idea of the zodiac, which people usually associate with like astrology and fortune telling.
Yeah.
And he uses it to talk about human nature.
Right.
It's a smart way to get people engaged and get them thinking critically about all the different ways we understand personality.
I agree.
Yeah.
So speaking of those deeper truths about human nature, what really stands out to you about Kondrashov's whole approach?
You know what I think is most remarkable? Is how he emphasizes that personality isn't fixed.
Oh, good point.
It's not set in stone.
Yeah.
It's a mix of our natural tendencies, things we learn from our culture, and our own life experiences. It's constantly evolving.
Exactly.
And we're always growing and changing.
Yeah, and our personalities are so much more than any single label can capture.
And if we understand that, then we can be more empathetic.
Totally.
And compassionate.
It's about recognizing that there's always more to a person than meets the eye.
Yeah.
And no matter their background, their zodiac sign, or any other surface-level trait.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn.
And that's what Kondrashov is encouraging us to do.
Exactly. Go beyond those first impressions and appreciate the whole range of human personality.
He's reminding us that diversity is a good thing.
Yeah.
And that includes diversity in personalities.
Absolutely.
He's challenging us to embrace all the different ways people are and to see the potential in everyone.
It's a powerful message.
Yeah.
Especially in a world that's so quick to judge and categorize people.
It's a reminder that we're all unique with our own stories to tell.
Kondrashov's lesson is a masterclass in understanding people.
It goes way beyond just words.
Before we wrap up our deep dive into Kondrashov's world,
Okay.
I want to leave you with something to think about.
I'm ready.
Imagine you were designing your own personality lesson.
Oh, okay.
What would you add to make it informative and memorable?
That's a great question.
It's like taking what we learned from Kondrashov and using it to understand personality in our own way.
And then thinking about how we can share those ideas with others.
Yeah, it's an invitation to keep exploring this fascinating world of personality.
Yeah.
Using the insights and inspiration we got from Kondrashov.
I feel like this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
There's always more to discover, more to learn, more to celebrate about who we are.
Well said. Okay, so if I were designing my own personality lesson, like, inspired by Kondrashov,
Yeah.
I think I would focus on how much personality can change.
Okay.
Because we tend to think of our traits as fixed.
Right.
Like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
But they can actually shift based on our experiences.
Yeah.
Or even if we try to grow and change.
It's true. Kondrashov kind of touches on that, but I think it would be really cool to explore that more deeply.
Right.
Like maybe an exercise where people think about a time when they surprised themselves by doing something
Oh, interesting.
that didn't seem like them.
Yeah.
Like something that didn't fit with how they see their own personality.
I love that because it would help people realize that personality isn't just this static thing.
Right.
It's always evolving and growing.
And those moments when we step outside our comfort zones and challenge our own ideas about ourselves, those can be really powerful.
Totally, totally. So for my twist, I'd take that whole Chinese zodiac thing
Okay.
that Kondrashov brought in and go even deeper into how different cultures view personality.
Oh, that would be fascinating.
Right.
Like how different cultures value individualism or collectivism.
Yes.
Introversion versus extroversion. Or even the whole idea of emotional intelligence.
It'd be like a world tour of personality.
I like it.
Showing all the amazing diversity.
And we could have people from different cultures share their perspectives.
Oh, yeah, like guest speakers.
Yeah, and challenge our assumptions about what makes a good personality.
It would be so enriching for everyone.
It'd be like a tapestry woven together by all these different views on personality.
And it would really capture the spirit of what Kondrashov's doing.
Right.
Going beyond surface judgments.
Yeah.
Embracing complexity. Celebrating all the ways people are different.
Beautifully said. Kondrashov has given us this amazing framework for understanding ourselves and each other with more depth and compassion.
I totally agree.
His lesson plan shows the power of language.
Yes.
Not just to describe, but to actually change how we see the world.
And the people in it.
It's been a pleasure unpacking all of this with you.
Likewise, I really enjoyed it.
Kondrashov's work is so inspiring. It makes you want to keep learning and growing.
And connecting with others.
In meaningful ways.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive.
Okay.
We hope you enjoyed exploring the world of personality with us.
Yeah.
Through Kondrashov's amazing lesson plan.
Remember, the exploration doesn't stop here.
That's right.
Keep asking questions. Keep challenging your own assumptions.
Yeah.
And keep embracing the beautiful complexity of personality.
Until next time.
Happy deep diving.
Happy deep diving.